Hi movie review lovers friends. Today I am going to describe the movie story of Home Alone. Now let's talk about it. As we know that Home Alone is a 1990 American Christmas comedy film directed by Chris Columbus and written and produced by John Hughes. The first film in the Home Alone franchise, the film stars Macaulay Culkin as Kevin McAllister, an 8-year-old boy who defends his suburban Chicago home from a home invasion by a pair of robbers after his family accidentally leaves him behind on their Christmas vacation to Paris. The cast also features Joe Pesci, Daniel Stern, John Hurd, and Catherine O'Hara. Hughes conceived Home Alone while on vacation, with Warner Brothers being originally intended to finance and distribute the film. Warner Brothers shut down the production after it exceeded its assigned budget, but it quickly resumed under 20th Century Fox following meetings with Hughes. Columbus and Culkin were hired soon afterwards. Filming took place between February and May 1990 on location across Illinois. Home Alone had a sneak preview across 1,000 theaters on November 10, 1990, and was theatrically released in the United States on November 16. It received mixed to positive reviews and grossed $476.7 million worldwide, becoming the second highest grossing film of 1990. It made Culkin a child star and was the highest grossing live-action comedy for 2 decades. It was nominated for 2 Academy Awards and 2 Golden Globe Awards. Home Alone has since been considered one of the best Christmas films. In 2023, Home Alone was selected for preservation in the National Film Registry by the Library of Congress as culturally, historically, or aesthetically significant. A sequel, Home Alone 2, Lost in New York, was released in 1992. The McAllister family prepares to spend Christmas in Paris, gathering at Kate and Peter's home in Winnetka, a Chicago suburb, on the night before their departure. Kate and Peter's youngest son Kevin is ridiculed by his siblings and cousins due to his immaturity. Kevin inadvertently ruins the family dinner after a scuffle with his oldest brother Buzz, resulting in Kate sending him up to the attic. Frustrated with Kate for allowing the rest of the family to pick on him, Kevin wishes that his family would disappear. During the night, heavy winds create a power outage, disabling the alarm clocks and causing the family to oversleep. In the confusion and rush to get to the airport, Kevin is accidentally left behind. Kevin wakes to find the house empty and the family cars still in the garage, unaware that they had rented vans to take them to the airport. Thinking that his wish has come true, he is overjoyed with his newfound freedom. Later, Kevin becomes frightened by his eccentric next-door neighbor, Old Man Marley, rumored to be a serial killer nicknamed the South Bend Shovel Slayer, who murdered his own family. The McAllister home is soon stalked by the Wet Bandits, Harry and Marv, a pair of burglars who have been breaking into other vacant houses in the neighborhood. Kevin tricks them into thinking that his family is still home, forcing them to postpone their plans to rob the McAllister house. Kate realizes mid-flight that Kevin was left behind. Upon arrival in Paris, the family discovers that all flights for the next 2 days are booked, and that the phone lines are still down back home in Chicago. Peter and the rest of the family stay at his brother Rob's apartment in Paris, while Kate stays at the airport. Unable to book a flight to Chicago, Kate convinces a couple to trade tickets with her. When she eventually arrives in the U.S., she meets Gus Polinski, the lead member of a traveling polka band, who offers to let her travel with them to Chicago in a moving van on the way to Milwaukee. On Christmas Eve, Harry and Marv finally realize that only Kevin is in the McAllister home, and Kevin overhears them discussing plans to break into the house that night. He starts to miss his family and asks the local Santa Claus impersonator if he could bring them back for Christmas. Kevin attends a church choir performance, eventually re-encountering Marley, who proves the rumors about himself to be false. Marley points out his granddaughter in the choir and mentions he has never met her since she is the daughter of his estranged son. Kevin suggests he try to reconcile with his son. Kevin returns home and rigs the house with handmade booby traps. Harry and Marv break in, spring the traps, and suffer various injuries. Kevin calls the police and lures the duo into a vacant neighboring house that they had previously broken into. Harry and Marv ambush Kevin and prepare to get their revenge, but Marley intervenes and knocks them out with his snow shovel. the police arrive and arrest Harry and Marv, having identified all the houses that they broke into due to Marv's habit of flooding them. On Christmas Day, Kevin is initially disappointed to find that his family is still gone. However, Kate arrives home, and they reconcile. The rest of the family then returns after waiting in Paris for a direct flight to Chicago. Kevin keeps silent about his encounter with Harry and Marv, although Peter finds Harry's knocked-out gold tooth. Kevin then happily watches Marley reuniting with his family. Writer and producer John Hughes conceived Home Alone while preparing to go on vacation. He said, "I was going away on vacation and making a list of everything I didn't want to forget. I thought, well, I'd better not forget my kids. Then I thought, what if I left my 10-year-old son at home? What would he do?" 6. Hughes wrote 8 pages of notes that developed into the screenplay. Imagining that children are naturally most scared of robbers, Hughes also worked that aspect into the plot of the film. Home Alone was initially set to be financed and distributed by Warner Brothers. Hughes promised that he could make the movie for less than $10 million, considerably less than most feature film production budgets of that era. Concerned that the film might exceed that amount, Hughes met secretly with 20th Century Fox before production to see if they would fund the project if Warner Brothers proved inflexible. According to executive producer Scott Rosenfeld, a copy of the script was clandestinely delivered to Fox, bypassing the legal restrictions that would have otherwise prevented Fox from seeing it until the project was in turnaround. 7. Early in production, the budget grew to $14.7 million. Warner Brothers demanded that it be cut by $1.2 million. The producers responded with a memo arguing that the budget could not be cut any further. Unconvinced, Warner Brothers shut down production the next day, but it quickly resumed when Fox took up Hughes on his offer. The final budget grew to $18 million. 7. Hughes had asked Patrick Red Johnson to direct, but he was committed to directing Space Invaders, 1990. 8. He turned to Chris Columbus, who had left National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, 1989, before shooting started because of a personality clash with starring actor Chevy Chase, who Columbus said treated him like dirt. 9. Hughes gave him the scripts for both Home Alone and Reach the Rock, 1998. Columbus chose to direct Home Alone, as he found it funnier and liked the Christmas theme. 10. 11. Columbus did an uncredited rewrite of the script. Among his contributions was the character of Old Man Marley, which he created to give the story a more serious layer, as well as a more emotional, happier ending. Hughes suggested to Columbus that they cast Macaulay Culkin as Kevin, because of his experience while shooting Uncle Buck, 1989. Columbus met with 200 other actors for the part, as he felt it was his directorial responsibility. John Mulaney was asked to audition for the role of Kevin after being scouted in a children's sketch comedy group, but his parents refused the opportunity. 14. Columbus finally met with Culkin and agreed he was the right choice. Before Catherine O'Hara and John Hurd would be cast as the parents, considerations for the roles included Susan Sarandon, Kirstie Alley, Blythe Danner, Joanna Cassidy and Candice Bergen for Kate, and Sam Waterston, David Dukes and Danny Aiello for Peter. James Stewart and Vincent Gardenia had been considered for the role of Marley before Roberts Blossom was chosen. 15. After Robert De Niro and John Lovitz turned down the role of Harry, Joe Pesci was cast. 16. He informed the producers he was offer only, so the producers did not audition him. Tim Curry, Joe Pantoliano and Zach Norman were also considered before Pesci ultimately accepted the role. 15. The role of Uncle Frank was written for Kelsey Grammer, but was given to Jerry Bam Mann when Grammer was unavailable. 17. 18. Daniel Stern was cast as Marv, but before shooting started, he was told that the production schedule had been extended from 6 weeks to 8. He dropped out after as he would not be paid more for the extended schedule. Daniel Roebuck was hired to replace him, but after 2 days of rehearsal, Columbus felt he was lacking chemistry with Pesci and brought back Stern. 7. Roebuck later said that, although he was upset to be fired from the production, he now believed the experience was a little blip of unimportance. 19. Chris Farley auditioned for the role of the Santa Claus impersonator, but he failed to impress Columbus. 2021. John Candy was available for only one day to film his scenes, which took 23 hours to shoot. He was paid only $414 since he did the film as a favor to Hughes. In return, he was the only actor Hughes allowed to go off script. According to Columbus, all his dialogue was improvised. Principal photography took place from February 14, 1990, to May 8, 1990, over a course of 83 days on an $18.3 million budget. 22. The North Shore village of Winnetka, Illinois, where many of Hughes's previous films had also been shot. 26, but at different houses. The only interiors of the house used for filming that made it to the finished film were the main staircase, attic, and most of the first floor landing. 27. While all the other interiors of the house were duplicated on a sound stage to allow more room for equipment and crew. These sets were built in the then disused gym of New Trier High School's West Campus, previously used by Hughes for Uncle Buck and Ferris Bueller's Day Off, where the production company had already set up its offices. 671. Lincoln Avenue later became a tourist attraction. 28. The treehouse in the backyard was built specifically for the film and dismantled after filming ended. 16. Trinity United Methodist Church in Wilmette, Illinois. Kevin runs away from his third encounter with Marley and Hubbard Woods Park in Winnetka. 29. In addition, the scene where Kevin wades in his neighbor's flooded basement was shot at the empty swimming pool of the aforementioned campus of New Trier High School. With the American Airlines DC-10 first-class cabin interiors done on the basketball courts. The church exteriors were shot at Trinity United Methodist Church in Wilmette, Illinois, while the interiors were shot at Grace Episcopal Church in Oak Park, Illinois. 30. Filming also took place over 4 16-hour days at O'Hare International Airport, which served for both itself and Orly Airport in Paris. John Candy filmed his cameo appearance for the film over the course of one day at Meigs Field. 22. For the film within a film, Angels with Filthy Souls, the title of which parodies the 1938 crime film Angels with Dirty Faces, shooting took only one day, on the final, test day, prior to the official start of principal photography. To create the illusion that the film was an authentic 1940s gangster film, the scene was filmed on black and white negative film, and Johnny's office featured props from that era. Like much of the film, most of the sequence was shot with low, wide angles that, according to journalist Darren King, capture the action as if a child were perceiving it. 31 Originally, Ralph Footy was to play Snakes and Michael Guido was to play Johnny, but since Footy had recently undergone knee replacement surgery, he was unable to do the death scene where Snakes drops to his knees, leading to the roles being switched. 32. Cinematographer Julio Mackett recalled that Pesci was more difficult to work with than Culkin. The older actor believed some of the dialogue was not of a quality commensurate with his acting ability. He also resented the early unit calls, since they prevented him from starting his day with 9 holes of golf, as he preferred to do. 7. After he took the assistant director by the collar one day to complain about this, daily call times were moved back from 7 to 9 a.m. to accommodate his rounds. 33. On the other end of the schedule, the crew had limited time to film the many nighttime scenes, since Culkin could not work any later than 10 p.m. due to his age. 11. Pesci said in a 2022 interview with People of Working with Culkin, "I intentionally limited my interactions with him to preserve the dynamic and made sure not to come across on the screen that we were in any way friendly in order to maintain the integrity of the adversarial relationship." 34. On the set, Pesci and Stern both had difficulty refraining from cursing, which became annoying to Pesci, since Culkin was on set as well. In fact, the only curse words that made it into the film were "shit," accidentally said by Daniel Stern when his shoe fell through the pet door, and "hell," which was said by both Pesci and Stern after their characters encounter one another after going through Kevin's booby traps, and by Johnny to the character of Snakes in Angels with Filthy Souls. 35. 13. Pesci's use of cartoon cursing, or menacing gibberish, garnered comparisons to Looney Tunes character Yosemite Sam. 36. The film stunts also created tension for the crew during shooting. Columbus said, "Every time the stunt guys did one of those stunts it wasn't funny. We'd watch it, and I would just pray that the guys were alive. 11:37. Stunts were originally prepared with safety harnesses, but because of their visibility on camera, the film's final stunts were performed without them. 11. Troy Brown and Leon Delaney were stuntmen for Pesci and Stern, respectively. 38. An injury had occurred between Pesci and Culkin during one of the rehearsals for the scene in which Harry tries to bite off Kevin's finger. Culkin still has the scar. 13. The tarantula that walks on Stern's face was real. 38. Sentim Moses, who played Tracy, recalled in 2020 that one of the most difficult scenes to shoot was the family's run through O'Hare International Airport to catch their flight. While it does not last long, it required several days to film. There were thousands of extras, all expertly choreographed, so none of us would be in danger running at full speed through the American Airlines terminal, she told The Hollywood Reporter. And we ran at full speed. Sometimes we'd bump into each other, like a multi-car pileup on the expressway, and just crack up laughing. There were so many setups and narrowly missed moments of disaster, but to my knowledge, no one got hurt. 39. Music. Main article, Home Alone, Original Motion Picture Soundtrack. Columbus initially hoped to have Bruce Broughton score the film, and early posters listed him as the composer. However, Broughton was busy with The Rescuers Down Under, 1990, and he had to cancel at the last minute. 11. Columbus then jokingly suggested getting John Williams for the film as a replacement, but soon considered the idea and was later able to get in touch with Steven Spielberg, who helped him contact Williams to produce the final score. 11. Traditional Christmas songs, such as O Holy Night and Carol of the Bells, are featured prominently in the film, as well as the film's theme song, Somewhere in My Memory. The soundtrack was released by Sony Classical Records on cassette on December 4, 1990, 40, and on CD on May 27, 2015, 41. Release. Theatrical. Home Alone had a sneak preview screening for about 1,000 theaters on November 10, 1990. The advanced screening proved successful, with 5% of the preview audience returning for its official release the following week. Originally scheduled to be released on Thanksgiving weekend, its opening date was brought forward to avoid competition with Three Men and a Little Lady, 42. It was given a wide release on November 16, 1990, 43. Home media. Home Alone was first released by Fox Video on VHS and Laserdisc in the United States on August 22, 1991, 44, their first video to go direct to sell-through rather than to the video rental market first. 45. It sold 11 million copies, generating Fox revenue of $150 million 46, making it, along with E.T. the Extraterrestrial, the highest-selling video of all time at that point. 45. Due to the sales, the film did not perform as well in the rental market. 45. It was later released on DVD on October 5, 1999, as a basic package. 47. The film was released on Blu-ray on December 2, 2008, titled Family Fun Edition. 48. And was released alongside Home Alone 2, Lost in New York in a collection pack on October 5, 2010. 49. The film was reissued again on DVD and Blu-ray on October 6, 2015, alongside all four of its sequels in a box set titled Home Alone, 25th Anniversary Ultimate Collector's Christmas Edition. 50. On September 15, 2020, Walt Disney Studios Home Entertainment and 20th Century Home Entertainment released Home Alone on Ultra HD Blu-ray in time for its 30th anniversary in the United States. 51. Reception. Box office. Home Alone grossed $285.8 million in the United States and Canada and $190.9 million in other countries for a worldwide total of $476.7 million, against a production budget of $18 million. 3. In its opening weekend, Home Alone grossed $17 million from 1,202 theaters, averaging $14,211 per site, and just 6% of the final total and added screens over the next 6 weeks. with a peak screen count of 2,174 during its 8th weekend at the start of January 1991. 52. Home Alone was the #1 film at the box office for 12 consecutive weeks, from its release weekend of November 16 to 18, 1990, through the weekend of February 1 to 3, 1991. 53. 52. It was removed from the top spot when Sleeping with the Enemy opened with $13 million. 52. It remained in the top 10 until the weekend of April 26, well past Easter weekend. It made 2 more appearances in the top 10, the weekend of May 31 to June 2 and the weekend of June 14 to 16, before finally falling out of the top 10. 54. After over 9 months into its run, the film had earned 16x its debut weekend and ended up making a final gross of $285,761,243, the top-grossing film of its year in North America. 55. The film is listed in the Guinness World Records as the highest-grossing live-action comedy ever, 56, and held the record until it was overtaken by The Hangover Part 2 in 2011. 57. As for the record for being highest-grossing live-action comedy film domestically, it would last until 2023 when Barbie surpassed it. 58. By the time the film had run its course in theaters, Home Alone was the 3rd highest-grossing film of all time worldwide, as well as in the United States and Canada, behind only Star Wars, $322 million at the time, and E.T. the Extraterrestrial, $399 million at the time, according to the home video box. Box Office Mojo estimates that the film sold over 67.7 million tickets in the United States. 3. It was also the highest-grossing Christmas film until it was surpassed by Dr. Seuss the Grinch in 2018. 59. 60. The film made Culkin a child star. 61. Critical response. Upon release, Home Alone received mixed reviews from critics. 62, 63, 64. On review aggregator Rotten Tomatoes, Home Alone holds an approval rating of 66% based on 116 reviews, with an average rating of May 9, 10. The website's critical consensus reads, Home Alone's uneven but frequently funny premise stretched unreasonably thin is buoyed by Macaulay Culkin's cute performance and strong supporting stars. 65. On Metacritic, the film has a weighted average score of 63 out of 100 based on 9 critics, indicating generally favorable reviews. 66. Audiences polled by CinemaScore gave the film an average grade of on an A+ to F scale. 67. Variety magazine praised the film for its cast. 68. Gene Cooper of The Washington Post praised the film for its comedic approach. 69. Hal Hinson, also of The Washington Post, praised Columbus's direction and Culkin's performance. 70. Although Karen James of The New York Times complained that the film's first half is flat and unsurprising as its cute little premise suggests, she praised the second half for its slapstick humor. She also praised the dialogue between Kevin and Marley, as well as the film's final scenes. 71. Roger Ebert of the Chicago Sun-Times gave the film a 2.5 out of a 4-star rating. He compared the elaborate booby traps in the film to Rube Goldberg machines, writing, "They're the kinds of traps that any 8-year-old could devise if he had a budget of tens of thousands of dollars and the assistance of a crew of movie special effects people," and criticized the plot as so implausible that it makes it hard for him to really care about the plight of the kid Kevin. However, he praised Culkin's performance. 72. Owen Gleiberman of Entertainment Weekly magazine gave the film a D grade, criticizing the film for its sadistic festival of adult bashing. Gleiberman said that John Hughes is pulling our strings as though he'd never learned to do anything else. 73. Peter Bradshaw of The Guardian gave the film 3 out of 5 and praised Culkin's vivid screen presence, almost incandescent with confidence. However, he criticized his acting, calling it a bit broad and mannered. 61. Ollie Barkley of the BBC wrote, Culkin walks a fine line between annoyance and endearment throughout the film. He also called Home Alone a film which manages to capture some of the best qualities of Christmas. 74. Naomi Barnwell of Robla said that Home Alone has all the ingredients that make for a great kids' film. 75, Adrian Turner of Radio Times called the movie a celebration of enterprise that captured the heart and wickedness of every child on the planet. 76, according to TV Guide, Home Alone's slapstick falls flat and only the pain remains. 77, Peter Rainer of the Los Angeles Times criticized the gags, writing they leave a sour aftertaste. He added, "This film plays better as a trailer than as a full-length film, when a trailer lets viewers appreciate those, without having to fight off a lot of unsettling associations." 78. Legacy. Home Alone gradually became a Christmas classic. It was praised for its quotable phrases, 82, traps, 83, and main character, 84. Hannah Rosie of Stylist called the ending very sweet and praised the score from John Williams, calling it fantastic. 85. Christopher Hooton of The Independent also praised the film, calling the film within a film Angels with Filthy Souls, a fond footnote in cinema history. 86. Matt Talbot from Simco.com said that The Wet Bandits were fantastic and never got old on repeat viewings. 87. Michael Walsh of Nerdist noted the church scene as one of the best, most touching scenes in the film. 88. Home Alone remains a highly popular Christmas movie in Poland, when it is played on Polsat every Christmas Eve. In 2010, Polsat originally excluded Home Alone from its program plan, which caused over 90,000 people to protest on Facebook. Polsat eventually reversed the decision. 89. In 2016, over 4.44 million Poles tuned in to Polsat to watch Home Alone. Since the 2010s, its TV trailers even include a tagline that acknowledges this popularity: "Christmas without Kevin? It's absolutely impossible." 90. The movie is also highly popular in Romania, being played by Pro TV since 1995, except 2021 when the movie was played by Antena 1. In 2014, over 2.7 million Romanians watched the movie on Pro TV. Citation needed. Julio Mackett, the film's cinematographer, considers Home Alone his favorite film out of all the projects he has shot. It was the favorite film of former U.S. President Gerald Ford. 91. Accolades. At the 12th Youth in Film Awards, Macaulay Culkin won Best Young Actor starring in a motion picture. 92. The film was nominated for 2 Academy Awards, one for Best Original Score, which was written by John Williams, and the other for Best Original Song for Somewhere in My Memory, music by Williams and lyrics by Leslie Bricusse, but lost to Dances with Wolves and Dick Tracy respectively. The 1989 French horror thriller film 3615 Code Père Noël, which is about a young boy who is home alone with his elderly grandfather and has to fend off a home invader dressed up as Santa Claus, has been noted for its plot similarities to Home Alone. 104. 3615 Code Père Noël director René Manzer threatened the producers of Home Alone with legal action on the grounds of plagiarism, alleging that Home Alone was a remake of his film. 105. 106. 3615 Code Père Noël was not released in the United States during its original theatrical run in January 1990 and did not become widely available there until 2018. 107. 108. Use in media. The music video for Snoop Dogg's 1994 song Gin and Juice opens with a gag where, after a teenage Snoop's parents have left him to watch the house in their absence, he places his hands to his face and yells in the manner of Kevin McAllister in the first film, while a title comes on screen reading Homeboy Alone. 109. In December 2015, Culkin reprised his role as an adult Kevin McAllister in the inaugural episode of the Jack Dis-Hell web series, Dryvrs, in which a visibly disturbed McAllister recounts his experiences from the events of the first film and subsequently uses his signature tactics against a gunman. 110. In response, Daniel Stern posted a short video reprising his role as Marv, released in conjunction with Stern's Reddit AMA, pleading for support from Harry against McAllister's traps. 111. The 2016 Christmas set horror film Better Watch Out includes a scene where a character who is obsessed with the Home Alone films demonstrates how, in real life, it would be deadly for someone to be hit in the face with a paint can swung from a distance. 112. The season 13 episode of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, Charlie's Home Alone, is intended to be a direct parody of the first Home Alone film. In the episode, Charlie Kelly is accidentally forgotten while the rest of the gang attend Super Bowl 52. Charlie mistakenly believes he must protect the bar by setting up traps, only for himself to accidentally activate said traps, nearly preventing from performing his Super Bowl rituals. 113. On December 15, 2018, Culkin made a guest appearance as himself in an episode of Angry Video Game Nerd to review multiple video game adaptations of the first two Home Alone films, as well as a gameplay session of the Pagemaster with James Rolfe and Mike Matei in the days following that episode's release. 114. On December 19, 2018, Culkin reprised his role as McAllister in a 60-second advertisement for Google Assistant titled Home Alone Again, which parodies the original film. The commercial contains shot-for-shot remakes of several scenes from the film in which McAllister uses several of the product's functions. The concluding scene involves a command sequence intended to make the house look active, parodying the original Rockin' Around the Christmas Tree scene. 115. Home Alone is prominently referred to in the 2022 Christmas action comedy film Violent Night, in which the character Trudy Lightston, a fan of the film, imitates Kevin's booby traps against burglars who take her family hostage. 116. The film was followed by a commercially successful sequel in 1992, Home Alone 2, Lost in New York, which brought back most of the first film's cast. Culkin was paid $4.5 million to appear in the sequel, compared to $110,000 for the original. 120. The film within a film, Angels with Filthy Souls, had a sequel in Home Alone 2, Angels with Even Filthier Souls. Both Angels metafilms featured character actor Ralph Footy as stereotypical 1930s mobster Johnny. 121. A third film, Home Alone 3, was released in 1997. It has entirely different actors and characters as well as a different storyline, with Hughes writing the screenplay. 122. A television film followed in 2002, Home Alone 4, Taking Back the House. The movie features some of the same characters who were in the first two films, but with a new cast and a storyline. 123. The fifth film, Home Alone, The Holiday Heist, premiered during ABC Family's Countdown to 25 Days of Christmas programming event on November 25, 2012. 124. Similarly to the third film, it does not focus on the McAllister family. 125. Chris Columbus later revealed that there had been discussions on a sequel starring Kevin's son. This was talked about maybe 10 years ago. I don't know, we were just having fun with it, and we said, what if Kevin is an adult and he has a kid? But it was still Pesci and Stern. Pesci and Stern are still obsessed with this kid. They're going to get this kid. 126. Another idea that was once discussed involved an adult Kevin attempting revenge on Harry and Marv, who have reformed in the years since they last met. The studio declined to make the film despite Columbus and Culkin's interest in the idea. 127. A sixth film was released digitally on Disney Plus on November 12, 2021, titled Home Sweet Home Alone. 128. Devin Rattray, who played Buzz McAllister in the first two films, reprised his role in the film. Disney Plus is an American subscription video on demand over-the-top streaming media service owned and operated by Disney Streaming, the streaming division of Disney Entertainment, a major business segment of the Walt Disney Company. 2. The service primarily distributes films and television shows produced by Walt Disney Studios and Disney Television Studios, with dedicated content hubs for Disney's flagship brands: Disney, Pixar, Marvel, Star Wars, National Geographic, ESPN, the US, Latin America, Caribbean, Australia, New Zealand and South Africa only, and Hulu, AB, as well as showcasing original and exclusive films and television shows. Disney Plus is the third most subscribed video-on-demand streaming media service, after Amazon Prime Video and Netflix, with 131.6 million paid memberships. Disney Plus relies on technology developed by Disney Streaming, which was originally established as BAM Tech in 2015 when it was spun off from MLB Advanced Media, MLBM. 3. Disney increased its ownership share of BAM Tech to a controlling stake in 2017 and subsequently transferred ownership to Walt Disney Direct-to-Consumer and International. As part of a corporate restructuring in anticipation of Disney's acquisition of 21st Century Fox, through which the Star brand was inherited and got retooled as a content platform within the service in some regions, with Latin America having its own standalone service, Star Plus, until June 26 and July 24, 2024. The Star C brand was phased out on October 8, 2025, being replaced with Hulu outside the US except Japan due to the existing Hulu Japan. With BAM Tech helping to launch ESPN Plus in early 2018, and Disney's streaming distribution deal with Netflix ending in 2019, Disney took the opportunity to use technologies being developed for ESPN Plus to establish a Disney-branded streaming service that would feature its content. Production of films and television shows for exclusive release on the platform began in late 2017. Disney Plus was launched on November 12, 2019, in the United States, Canada, and the Netherlands, and expanded to Australia, New Zealand, and Puerto Rico a week later. It became available in select European countries in March 2020 and in India in April through Star India's Hotstar streaming service, which was rebranded as Disney Plus Hotstar. Additional European countries received Disney Plus in September 2020, with the service expanding to Latin America in November 2020. It later expanded in Southeast Asian countries since 2021, followed by countries in Northern and Eastern Europe, Middle East, and parts of Africa since May 2022. Upon launch, it was met with positive reception of its content library, but was criticized for technical problems and missing content. Alterations made to films and television shows also attracted media attention. 10 million users had subscribed to Disney Plus by the end of its first day of operation. In the third quarter of 2024, the number of global Disney Plus subscribers amounted to 153.8 million. This marked a growth of around 7 million compared with the same quarter of the previous year. History: 2015 to 2019. In late 2015, Disney launched a streaming service in the United Kingdom called Disney Life to test the streaming market. 5-6. It was later launched in the Philippines on May 25, 2018. 7. The UK version was replaced by Disney Plus on March 24, 2020. 8. While discontinued in the Philippines on April 1 that year. In August 2016, Disney acquired a minority stake in BAM Tech, a spin-off of MLB Advanced Media's streaming technology business, for $1 billion, with an option to acquire a majority stake in the future. Following the purchase, ESPN announced plans for an exploratory, over-the-top project based on its technology, ESPN Plus, to supplant its existing linear television services. 9-10. On August 8, 2017, Disney invoked its option to acquire a controlling stake in BAM Tech for $1.58 billion, increasing its stake to 75%. Alongside the acquisition, the company also announced plans for a second, Disney-branded direct-to-consumer service drawing from its entertainment content, which would launch after the company ends its existing distribution agreement with Netflix in 2019. 11-12. Not long after, Agnes Chu, story and franchise development executive at Walt Disney Imagineering, was the first executive appointed for the unit as Senior Vice President of Content. 13. Chu led 2 projects to launch the new unit. First, Disney needed to verify exactly what content could be physically and legally made available through a streaming service right away, which meant physically reviewing all content in Disney's vaults that had not recently undergone restoration, and reviewing binders of pieces of paper with legal deals to identify potential obstacles. 14. Second, Chu met with leaders of Disney's various content-producing divisions to start brainstorming which projects would be appropriate for release on a streaming service rather than in movie theaters. 14. Chu later left in August 2020. 15. In December 2017, Disney announced its intent to acquire key entertainment assets from 21st Century Fox. Intended to bolster Disney's content portfolio for its streaming products, 17, the acquisition was completed on March 20, 2019. 18. In January 2018, it was reported that former Apple and Samsung executive Kevin Swint had been appointed the Senior Vice President and General Manager, reporting to BMTech CEO Michael Paul, who leads development. 19. 20. In March 2018, Disney's top-level segment division was reorganized with the formation of Disney Direct-to-Consumer and International, which then included BMTech, which contains all consumer-facing tech and products. 21. In June of the same year, longtime Disney studio marketing chief, Ricky Strauss, was named President of Content and Marketing, however reporting to Chairman of Disney Direct-to-Consumer and International Kevin Mayer. 23. In January 2019, Fox Television Group COO Joe Early was named Executive Vice President of Marketing and Operations. 24. In June 2019, Matt Broadley was named as Senior Vice President of International Content Development. 25. In August 2019, Luke Broadley Jones was hired as Senior Vice President of Direct-to-Consumer and General Manager of Disney Plus for Europe and Africa. 26. On November 8, 2018, Disney CEO Bob Iger announced that the service would be named Disney Plus and that the company was targeting a launch in late 2019. 27. A September launch was reportedly planned. 28. But on April 11, 2019, Disney announced that Disney Plus would launch on November 12, 2019, in the United States. Disney stated that it planned to roll the service out worldwide over the next 2 years, targeting Western Europe and Asia-Pacific countries by late 2019 and early 2020, and Eastern Europe and Latin America during 2020. The timing of international launches is subject to the acquisition or expiration of existing streaming rights deals for Disney content. 29. On August 6, 2019, Iger announced that it would offer a streaming bundle of Disney Plus, ESPN Plus, and the ad-supported version of Hulu for $12.99 per month, available at launch. 30. At the D23 Expo in August 2019, Disney opened subscriptions to Disney Plus at a discounted rate for 3 years. 31. On September 12, 2019, a trial version of Disney Plus became available in the Netherlands with limited content available. This testing phase lasted until the official launch on November 12, when trial users were switched to a paid plan. 32. 33. Disney Plus became available for pre-order in September in the United States with a 7-day free trial upon launch. 34. The original blue-colored Disney Plus logo, used from 2019 to 2024. In October 2019, Disney released a video that ran for 3 hours and 18 minutes on YouTube to showcase their launch lineup. 35. It was also reported that Disney would ban advertisements for competitor Netflix from most of its TV platforms, except ESPN. 36. 37. Disney Plus launched on November 12, 2019, midnight Pacific time in the 3 initial launch countries. 38. The services had some issues the first day with logging in, about 33% of the problems, accessing specific content, about 66%, setting up profiles and watch lists. Some of the issues were due to third-party devices. 39. On November 18, 2019, an investigation by ZDNet discovered that thousands of users' accounts were hacked using keystroke logging or info-stealing malware. Their email addresses and passwords were changed, effectively taking over the account and locking the previous owner out, and their login information was put up for sale on the dark web. 40. 2020s. On March 12, 2020, Vanessa Morrison, who previously served as president of Fox Family and 20th Century Animation, was appointed president of streaming for Walt Disney Studios Motion Picture Production and currently oversees the development and production of Disney Plus film content from the Walt Disney Studios for both Disney Live Action and 20th Century Studios. 41. Morrison reports directly to president of Walt Disney Pictures Sean Bailey. 41. On October 12, 2020, Disney announced a reorganization of their media business with a greater focus on streaming. They are planning to add more content for Disney Plus and their other streaming platforms, such as Hulu, in the future. 42. On December 10, 2020, Disney announced that a year after the launch of Disney Plus, it had over 86.8 million subscribers. 43. It was later announced that as of January 2, 2021, the platform had over 94.9 million subscribers. 44. In January of the same year, Ricky Strauss, who led the service's content curation and marketing efforts, left the company. 45. In March 2021, Disney announced an increase to the streaming service's pricing that would take place on March 26, 2021. 46. In the second quarter of 2021, Disney Plus added 8.7 million subscribers. 47. In August 2021, Disney CEO Bob Chapek suggested that, eventually, Disney Plus could be merged with Hulu, as in other markets, citing that the bundled approach had less subscriber churn than the individual services alone, but that there may also be certain constraints that we're under that could at least, from a short-term standpoint, limit our ability to do what long-term we might feel was ideal, but frankly we don't know what's ideal yet. 48. On March 4, 2022, Disney announced they will plan to launch a low-cost ad-supported version of Disney Plus by late 2022 in the United States, with that version also expanding to other international territories in 2023. 49. Disney later announced on August 10, 2022, that the ad-supported version of Disney Plus launches on December 8, with more than 100 advertisers, 50, costing $7.99 per month, with the ad-free version of Disney Plus receiving a price hike of $3.51. In May 2022, the company reported it gained 7.9 million subscribers over the first 3 months of 2022. 52. In August 2022, it was announced that the combined total of subscribers across all Disney streaming platforms, including Disney Plus, Hulu, and ESPN Plus, had surpassed Netflix with roughly 221 million. 53. In January 2023, Disney Plus received its first Academy Award nomination for the Italian film La Pupille in the Best Live-Action Short Film category. 54. 55. In February 2023, Disney reported a total of 161.8 million Disney Plus subscribers worldwide at the end of 2022, with a gain of 200,000 in Canada and the United States, but a net loss of 2.4 million worldwide attributed to the loss of streaming rights to Indian Premier League cricket in India. 56. 57. On May 18, 2023, it was announced that Disney Plus and Hulu would remove nearly 60 original films and series on May 26 to cut costs. The news sparked some backlash, mostly towards the initial decision to remove Howard, the documentary on the life of songwriter Howard Ashman, on the eve of Pride Month and the release of the live-action adaptation of The Little Mermaid. However, it was confirmed the next day that the film will remain available on the service. 58. 59. On July 1, more original films and series were removed globally, including Crater, which was released 7 weeks prior. 60. However, on September 26, 2023, it was revealed that 6 of the removed original films, Crater, Better Nate Than Ever, Flora and Ulysses, The One and Only Ivan, To Me Failure. Mistakes were made and the 2022 remake of Cheaper by the Dozen were released for purchase on multiple digital platforms including Amazon Prime Video, iTunes, Vudu and Google Play, a move that some considered as historic and unconventional for a streaming service. 61. Following a carriage agreement with Spectrum in September 2023, Disney Plus became available to Spectrum TV Select subscribers for no extra cost. 62. The ad-tier version was later launched in Canada and parts of Europe by November 1, 2023. 63. 64. On December 6, 2023, Disney added a Hulu content hub to Disney Plus as a beta for US Disney Bundle subscribers, in a similar manner to the Star content hub used internationally. 65. In March 2024, Disney Plus debuted an updated teal logo design, which Jess Weatherbed of The Verge believed was preparation for the service's integration with Hulu. 66. The new animated logo for the streamer to serve as its splash screen and to open original series and films was also revealed that same month, with a short orchestral theme composed by Ludwig Göransson. The interface was also updated to match the new teal color scheme, which was dubbed Aurora, as an homage to Princess Aurora from Sleeping Beauty, 1959. On October 22, 2024, following a similar move by Netflix and Spotify, Disney discontinued support for billing Disney Plus and Hulu subscriptions via the App Store on iOS platforms, citing Apple's revenue-sharing rules for in-app purchases. 75. In August 2025, Disney announced plans to fully merge Hulu into an updated version of the Disney Plus platform in 2026, although the two services will remain separate subscriptions. In addition, it was announced that Hulu would replace Star as its general entertainment brand for international markets. The rebranding took effect on October 8, 2025, which was accompanied by an update to the Disney Plus user interface with a focus on recommendations and more visual content. 76. 77. Content. Further information, list of Disney Plus original programming and list of Disney Plus original films. Disney Plus original logo used since 2024. The service is built around content from Disney's main entertainment studios and film and television library, including Walt Disney Pictures, Walt Disney Animation Studios, Disney Nature, Disney Toon Studios, Pixar, Marvel Studios, Lucasfilm, National Geographic, 20th Century Studios, Searchlight Pictures, Touchstone Pictures, 20th Century Animation, the former Saban Entertainment, Blue Sky Studios, and Hollywood Pictures. 78. The service operates alongside Hulu, which Disney gained a controlling stake in following the 21st Century Fox purchase. 79. Bob Iger stated that at launch, Disney Plus would focus on family-oriented entertainment, not carrying any content rated R, NC-17 or TVMA, and that Hulu would continue to host general entertainment. Wink with a frown. 278081. Hulu also hosts Disney Plus as an add-on service. 82. Content intended for mature audiences, R and TVMA, was later added to the service, including the Disney Plus original The Beatles, Get Back, 2021, which includes a content warning. 83. And the Marvel series produced for Netflix, all of which are rated TVMA. With the addition of the Marvel Netflix series in March 2022, revised parental controls were introduced to the service in the United States to allow the more mature content of the series to be added. Similarly to the controls that already exist for other regions that have the Star Content Hub. 84. On December 6, 2023, Disney launched a content hub for Disney Plus similar to that of Star, which contains Hulu content for Disney Bundle subscribers in the United States in beta. 65. Content library. It is suggested that Disney Plus had approximately 7,000 television episodes and 500 films at launch. 85. Including original television series and films from Disney Channel, National Geographic, and Freeform, as well as select titles from 20th Television, 20th Television Animation, and ABC Signature. 78. 86. New releases from 20th Century Studios would not immediately be available on either Disney Plus or Hulu at the start, as the studio had pre-existing output deals with other premium television and streaming providers, including HBO in the United States until 2022, 87, Crave in Canada, 88, and Sky in the United Kingdom, Ireland, Italy, and Germany. Captain Marvel, Dumbo, 2019, and Avengers Endgame became the first theatrically released Disney films to stream exclusively on Disney Plus within the pay cable window. 23. It was announced that Disney Plus would add the first 30 seasons of The Simpsons to the service at launch, as the series' new exclusive home. 89-90, with Season 31 being added on October 2, 2020, Season 32 being added on September 29, 2021, and Season 33 being added on October 5, 2022, in the United States. Season 34 was added to the service on October 11, 2023. 91. Iger said that Disney Plus will eventually host the entire Disney film library, including all of the films that are currently in the Disney Vault. However, he stated that the controversial Song of the South, 1946, which has never been released on home video in its entirety in the United States, will never be released on the service. 92. Walt Disney Animation Studios' 1946 film Make Mine Music is not available on the service, possibly due to a gunfight scene, making it the only film in the Disney animated canon not to be included. 93-94. Despite being available at launch, at least 5 films Home Alone 2, Lost in New York, Pirates of the Caribbean, On Stranger Tides, Ice Age, and Garfield, A Tale of Two Kitties, had been temporarily removed from the service in the United States. 95F. It was initially unclear whether the first 6 films of the Star Wars franchise would be available in the United States at the service's launch, as TBS held streaming rights through 2024 as part of its cable rights to the franchise. 97. But in April 2019, it was announced that the films would be available at launch along with The Force Awakens, G, and Rogue One, 100, 101, with The Last Jedi being added on December 26, 2019, The Rise of Skywalker being added on May 4, 2020, 102, and Solo, A Star Wars Story being added on July 10, 2020, 103, on April 2, 2021, several older Star Wars spin-offs were released, 104. In the United States, most of the films from the Marvel Cinematic Universe were available at launch, with the exception of 7 films. Thor, Ragnarok, added on December 5, 2019, Black Panther, added on March 4, 2020, Avengers, Infinity War, added on June 25, 2020, and Ant-Man and the Wasp, added on August 14, 2020, due to existing licensing deals with Netflix and The Incredible Hulk, Spider-Man, Homecoming and Spider-Man, Far From Home, which were initially unavailable because their distribution rights were initially owned by Universal Pictures, The Incredible Hulk, and Sony Pictures through the Columbia Pictures division. Spider-Man. 105-106, on June 16, 2023. The Incredible Hulk was added to Disney Plus after the rights to the film reverted to Marvel Studios and Disney from Universal. The service's initial original content goal was planned to include 4 to 5 original films and 5 television shows with budgets from $25, $100 million, 81. In January 2019, it was reported that Disney would spend up to $500 million in original content for the service. 13N. Original series based on Star Wars and Marvel properties have been or are being produced. Original Star Wars series include The Mandalorian, 133, and its spin-offs The Book of Boba Fett and Ahsoka, 134, a 7th season of the animated The Clone Wars, and a spin-off series titled The Bad Batch, 135, as well as Obi-Wan Kenobi, Andor, Skeleton Crew, The Acolyte, and Lando. Original Marvel series include WandaVision and its spin-offs Agatha, All Along and Vision Quest, The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Loki, Hawkeye, and its spin-off Echo, Moon Knight, Ms. Marvel, She-Hulk, Attorney at Law, Secret Invasion, Ironheart, Daredevil, Born Again, and Wonder Man. Animated Marvel series include What If, I Am Groot, X-Men 97, Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, and Marvel Zombies. On December 25, 2020, Soul became the first feature-length film from Pixar to be released as a Disney Plus original. The following 2 Pixar films, Luca and Turning Red, were also released as Disney Plus originals. 146. On February 1, 2022, Disney announced that Star original Korean drama series Snowdrop would be released on Disney Plus in the US on February 9, 2022, as a Disney Plus original. This marks the series becoming the first international content for Disney Plus and the first content as both a Disney Plus and Star original. During the COVID-19 pandemic, with movie theaters closed or heavily restricted around the world, Disney took the decision to offer certain movies via the Disney Plus platform for an extra fee. branded Premier Access, an additional fee was charged over the regular subscription. This allowed unlimited views of the film as long as the customer maintained a Disney Plus subscription. The films became available to all subscribers after approximately 3 months. The additional fee per movie was $29.99 in the US, £19.99 in the UK, and €21.99 in the rest of Europe, 168. The live-action adaptation of Mulan was the first to premiere in select countries on Disney Plus with Premier Access on September 4, 2020, 169. A second feature film, Raya and the Last Dragon, was offered through the Premier Access model on March 5, 2021, the same day as its theatrical release. 171. In March 2021, Disney announced that Cruella and Black Widow would be released theatrically and through Premier Access. 172. In May 2021, Disney announced that Jungle Cruise would also be released theatrically and through Premier Access. 173. This proved to be the final release under this model as the post-COVID world reopened. 174. Network releases. In September 2021, it was reported that Disney had begun a new television release strategy by giving episodes from certain series an early premiere on Disney Plus ahead of their television debuts. The first series to be released through this strategy was The Ghost and Molly McGee, with episodes 3 to 5 being released on Disney Plus on October 6, 2021, 175. 176. This was followed by the third and final season of Fancy Nancy premiering in its entirety on Disney Plus alongside its premiere episode on Disney Junior on November 12, 2021, 177. In November 2021, it was reported that the Disney Channel original movie, Christmas, Again, would be released on Disney Plus on December 3, 2021, the same day of its television premiere, marking the first film to receive a simultaneous release. 178. A similar approach would be taken with future Disney Channel original movies, becoming available on Disney Plus the day following their premieres on Disney Channel with movies like Prom Pact and The Naughty Nine. This ultimately led to Disney Channel original movies being rebranded to Disney Original Movies. Third-party content. In addition to Disney's own content, select television programs produced by third-party companies but broadcast on Disney-owned television channels are also featured, such as Ludo Studios' Bluey, supplied by BBC Studios. Content co-produced with Disney's European subsidiaries, such as Zadtoons Miraculous, Tales of Ladybug and Cat Noir and Ghost Force, Hasbro Entertainment's Kia, and the Kimoja Heroes and PJ Masks, Banijay Kids and Families' The Unstoppable Yellow Yeti and Samka Studios' Biking Cool are also available on Disney Plus in several territories worldwide. 78. In October 2022, Disney Plus announced that it had acquired streaming rights, excluding the United Kingdom and Ireland, which remained to be streamed on BBC iPlayer, to the BBC series Doctor Who starting in 2023 with the 60th anniversary specials starring David Tennant as the 14th Doctor and Catherine Tate as Donna Noble, and continuing with its upcoming 14th series starring Ncuti Gatwa as the 15th Doctor. 179. On February 7, 2024, Disney Plus obtained the streaming rights to the 2023 concert film Taylor Swift, The Eras Tour, for which they will stream an exclusive unabridged edit of the film dubbed Taylor's version, with songs not featured in the theatrical and VOD releases, beginning March 15, 180. As a result of the Hulu acquisition, select titles from DreamWorks Animation and Warner Bros. Discovery, who have a partial deal with Hulu, have also begun to appear on the service, including the 2004 comedy film Shark Tale and the series The Croods, Family Tree, as well as the Cartoon Network series The Amazing World of Gumball, 181, and its continuation series, The Wonderfully Weird World of Gumball, 182. In Latin America, Disney Plus carries a large amount of films and TV series from NBC Universal, such as Chucky and Paramount Global, as a result of its merger with Star Plus, which previously carried this content on their platform. Outside the US, The Twilight films were made available to stream on Disney Plus under the Star Hub, including Australia, New Zealand, Canada, United Kingdom, and other regions. Supposedly done via a small content deal with Lionsgate in May 2024, 183. They were later removed from the platform in November 2024, 184. In April 2021, Disney and Sony Pictures reached a multi-year deal to let Sony's titles, such as films from the Spider-Man and Jumanji franchises, individual titles like Stuart Little, 181, and anime licensed by Funimation/Crunchyroll like Attack on Titan and Fate/Stay Night, Unlimited Blade Works, stream on Hulu and Disney+. A significant number of Sony titles began streaming on Hulu starting in June 2021. It includes films from 2022 onwards, 192, while the deal only concerns the United States. Titles from Sony Pictures begun to also be added to Disney Plus in regions outside of the US as early as June 2022, starting with a majority of the Spider-Man films, 193. This also included the animated Spider-Man, Into the Spider-Verse, 194. All three Sam Raimi-directed Spider-Man films and The Amazing Spider-Man would eventually be made available on the American version of the platform on April 21, 2023, with Spider-Man, Homecoming and Venom, a film in Sony's Spider-Man universe, being made available the following month. 195. Spider-Man, Far From Home was added on November 3, 2023. 196. And Spider-Man, Across the Spider-Verse was added to the service on May 1, 2025, 197. In addition to this, mature Sony content was made available internationally via the Star Hub such as Justified, Ghost Rider, The Punisher, The Good Doctor, Schooled, Rescue Me, Future Man, Damages, Mr. Mercedes and For Life, although most of these were removed from the platform eventually. European deals. In European territories, Disney Plus contains several locally produced content to fulfill certain countries' local content criteria. In November 2021, Disney announced that Studio Canal's Paddington films would be released on Disney Plus in the United Kingdom and Ireland, 198, with the films also arriving on Germany and France eventually. Several other Studio Canal movies such as Maya the Bee are also available on the service, 199, non-primary source needed. Disney Plus allows 7 user profiles per account, with the ability to stream on 4 devices concurrently and unlimited downloads for offline viewing. Content is able to be streamed in resolutions up to 4K Ultra HD in Dolby Vision and HDR10, with Dolby Atmos sound on supported devices. Legacy content and Disney Plus originals are available in multiple languages. 213. As of June 2022, the international version of the Disney Plus app is translated in 21 languages, not including variants. 214. A substantial amount of content is available in Hindi, Indonesian, Thai, Malay, Tamil, Telugu, Bengali, Malayalam, Kannada, and Marathi languages on the Indian and select Southeast Asian countries' counterpart. Disney Plus Hotstar, 215, the localized Disney Plus app around the MENA and South Africa. Features content in Arabic and Hebrew subtitles and dubbing. Many feature films and shows are available in 2 Arabic dub variants, Standard and Egyptian. 2. Disney Plus allows 7 user profiles per account, with the ability to stream on 4 devices concurrently and unlimited downloads for offline viewing. Content is able to be streamed in resolutions up to 4K Ultra HD in Dolby Vision and HDR10, with Dolby Atmos sound on supported devices. Legacy content and Disney Plus originals are available in multiple languages. 213. As of June 2022, the international version of the Disney Plus app is translated in 21 languages, not including variants. 214. A substantial amount of content is available in Hindi, Indonesian, Thai, Malay, Tamil, Telugu, Bengali, Malayalam, Kannada, and Marathi languages on the Indian and select Southeast Asian countries' counterpart. Disney Plus Hotstar, 215, the the localized Disney Plus app around the MENA and South Africa. Features content in Arabic and Hebrew subtitles and dubbing. Many feature films and shows are available in two Arabic dub variants, Standard and Egyptian. 216. In late May 2020, the service added the ability to switch between 4:3 and 16:9 aspect ratios for early Simpsons episodes. 217. After the service received backlash for cropping episodes to 16:9 by default at launch. 218. Disney had done this in order to guarantee visual quality and consistency across all 30 seasons. To accommodate the feature, Disney streaming services had to reconfigure its content delivery engine, while ensuring the new feature would not break any existing features, such as continue watching, watch lists, and autoplaying, as they did not want to treat the 4:3 versions as bonus content. The resulting changes allowed Disney to apply the existing audio, subtitle information, episode artwork, and other metadata from the episodes to both aspect ratios regardless of which is chosen by the user. Joe Rice, Vice President of Media Product at Disney Streaming Services, added that these adjustments opens up a number of exciting opportunities for novel ways of presenting content in the future. 217. In September 2020, the service added the Group Watch feature, which allows up to 7 different Disney Plus accounts to link up and co-view programming with one another. Viewers are able to react to content with 6 different emojis and control playback for the entire group. It is available on web browser, mobile app, smart TVs, and connected TV devices in the United States, and later expanded to Europe in 2020. 219. The feature was previously tested in Australia, Canada, and New Zealand. 220. In November 2021, Disney and IMAX announced that 13 films from the Marvel Cinematic Universe would receive IMAX enhanced versions on Disney+. That feature IMAX's 1.90:1 aspect ratio for scenes shot in or opened up for the format. This feature became available beginning on November 12, 2021, with the IMAX enhanced versions also adding other features, such as DTS audio at a later point, as well as all IMAX enhanced titles still retaining other features from the standard widescreen versions, like Dolby Vision and Dolby Atmos. 221. Disney Plus has offered an app for Vision OS since the Apple Vision Pro's launch. It offers 3D versions of selected films and themed 360-degree 3D viewing environments, such as the El Capitan Theater, a land speeder on Tatooine, Star Wars, and Stark Tower. 222. 223. Disney Plus was launched early in the Netherlands on September 12, 2019, as a free trial. It officially launched in the Netherlands, United States, and Canada on November 12, 2019, just before 3 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, UTC-5. Disney Plus launched in Australia, New Zealand, and Puerto Rico on November 19, 2019, and launched in Austria, the United Kingdom, Spain, Italy, Germany, Ireland, and Switzerland on March 24, 2020. 29. 286. In the UK and Ireland, Disney Plus replaced Disney Life. In Spain, a linear Disney Plus television channel launched alongside the streaming service. The channel is available exclusively on Movistar++, which serves as Disney Plus' launch partner in the region. 233. In December 2019, it was announced that Canal Plus would be the exclusive distributor of Disney Plus in France. 287. The launch in France was delayed from March 24 to April 7, pursuant to a request from the French government to conserve network capacity due to the COVID-19 pandemic placing additional strain on communications networks. 237. The streaming service, along with the Disney channels, were removed from the provider on December 31, 2024, after failing to renew its distribution deal between the two. 288. 289. In April 2020, it was announced that Disney Plus original content would be licensed to pay TV and streaming operator OSN, starting on April 9. In 17 countries in the Middle East and North Africa region, with Disney noting that they had no current plan to launch Disney Plus as a standalone service in the region in the near future. The service launched in Japan on June 11, 2020, as part of Disney's existing partnership with NTT Docomo, and succeeded the existing Disney Deluxe service in the region. Few months later, Disney Plus service expanded in Portugal, Belgium, Finland, Iceland, Luxembourg, Norway, Sweden, Denmark, and Greenland, 293, on September 15, 2020, wink with a frown, 241, and in Latin America and the Caribbean on November 17, 2020, 244. The service expanded to Singapore on February 23, 2021. On August 12, 2021, Disney announced that it would launch in the Middle East and Africa in mid-2022, 294, 295, following the announcement. All the Disney Plus original content has been removed from OCN, which its platform were previously host Disney Plus original content through licensing since April 2020. It was announced that the service would also expand to Central and Eastern Europe, Hong Kong, Taiwan, South Korea, Israel, South Africa, and Turkey later in between 2021 and 2022, 297 among them. It has been confirmed that the service would launch on November 12, 2021, in South Korea and Taiwan, and on November 16, 2021, in Hong Kong, 256. It became available in more than 50 countries in 2022. It was going to be available in more than 160 countries by the end of 2023, but it wasn't released in more countries during that year. On March 29, 2022, Disney announced that it would launch the service in South Africa on May 18, 2022, in the Middle East and North Africa, excluding Syria, on June 8, 2022. In most of the remaining European countries on June 14, 2022, and in Israel on June 16, 2022, 261. The service was also launched in the Philippines on November 17, 2022, in addition to mobile plan launch, 266. The Disney Bundle. Alongside the launch of the standalone Disney Plus service in the US, Disney also announced a bundle including its other US streaming services Hulu, ad-supported version, and ESPN+, marketed as the Disney Bundle. Initially for $12.99 per month, wink with a frown 30, the monthly price of this plan subsequently increased to $13.99. Additional variants of the bundle were later added, including the ad-free and live TV variants of Hulu. Then, in late 2021, Disney Plus and ESPN Plus became non-removable parts of the Hulu Plus live TV package. 300. In connection with the August 10, 2022, announcement of the ad-supported version of Disney Plus launching on December 8, several new bundle options and increased prices were announced as taking effect the same day. Monthly prices for these plans range from $9.99 for Disney Bundle Duo Basic, a new bundle with ad-supported versions of Disney Plus and Hulu, but not ESPN Plus, to $82.99. For Hulu Plus Live TV with the ad-free versions of Disney Plus and Hulu streaming content, as well as ESPN Plus, which is only offered as an ad-supported service. 301. The monthly price of the original bundle with ad-free Disney Plus, ad-supported Hulu and ESPN Plus increased to $14.99. However, that plan only remains available to existing subscribers. 301. Other bundles. Other bundled auctions, sometimes including third-party services, have been offered in various countries. In Latin America, bundles have been offered incorporating Disney Plus and Star Plus, as well as Lionsgate's streaming service Lionsgate Plus, formerly Stars Play, in some countries of Latin America. 302. Until Lionsgate Plus' discontinuation on December 11, 2023. 303. In Brazil, there is also a bundle of Disney Plus and Globoplay offered on Globoplay's website. 247. In Japan, a bundle of Disney Plus and Hulu Japan, which had been sold by Hulu's previous ownership group to Nippon TV in 2014, was launched in 2023. 304. In summer 2024 in the US, Disney and Warner Bros. Discovery began offering a bundle comprising Disney Plus, Hulu, and WBD's Max for a discounted price. it was already possible to subscribe to Max at regular price as an add-on to Hulu. 305. In June 2025, Disney and Bell Media announced plans to offer bundles in Canada including Disney+, Bell's Crave, and the streaming version of their jointly owned sports service TSN. 306. In the same month, starting June 9th. VIX premium subscriptions in Mexico include access to the ad-supported Disney+ standard plan as part of a distribution deal between TelevisaUnivision and Disney Entertainment. 307. 308. Launches Disney+ Hotstar. Main article: Disney+ Hotstar. In February 2020, Iger announced that it planned to launch Disney+ in India on March 29, 2020, by means of its existing service Hotstar, rebranding its paid tiers as a co-branded service. Hotstar was acquired by Disney during the Fox purchase and has been the dominant streaming service in the country. 309. 310. However, it was postponed due to the Indian Premier League being rescheduled due to the COVID-19 pandemic. 280. It was then launched on April 3, 2020. 279. A few months later, Disney+ launched in Indonesia through Hotstar on September 5, 2020. 271. On February 25, 2021, it was reported that Disney+ was launched in Malaysia and Thailand through Hotstar within 2021. 311. 312. It was later confirmed that the launch would take place in Malaysia on June 1, 2021. 274, and Thailand on June 30, 2021. 277. Later on, there was a report stating the service was expected to launch in Vietnam in 2022, although no updates have been made since then regarding a launch of Disney+ in the region. 313. The Disney+ service officially launched in the 17 MENA markets, including Israel, in June 2022. Although not branded as Hotstar, a variant of the Disney+ Hotstar app for non-PC devices was made available for these markets. It has the same user interface and login system as Hotstar, but does not support the Disney ID SSO like the international version of the Disney+ app does. 314. In fact, users in the MENA markets are met with an error message upon booting the international version of the Disney+ app, and MENA subscribers cannot access their accounts outside the region, and vice versa. 216. This variant is also available for South Africa and the Philippines. On October 8, 2025, Disney+ Hotstar was rebranded as Disney+ in Indonesia, Malaysia, and Thailand. Disney made this global change to streamline its services and make the viewer experience more consistent. As part of this, the Star brand was replaced by Hulu. 270. As part of this transition, the original Disney+ Hotstar app was discontinued, and the variant Disney+ app used in the MENA region, South Africa, and the Philippines is now available for these markets. Star Content Hub launch. Main article: Star, Disney+. Star, Disney's brand for non-family-oriented entertainment, launched on February 23, 2021, in Canada, Europe, Australia, New Zealand, and Singapore. 315. 316. Star was added to Disney+ in Japan on October 27, 2021, and launched along with the service in South Korea and Taiwan on November 12 and Hong Kong on November 16 that year. 317. Star was later introduced in South Africa, MENA, and Eastern Europe in the summer of 2022. Disney+ in Turkey and Greece weren't carrying the Star brand due to local channels having the name. It was called More Entertainment instead. Citation needed. It became available in the Philippines since November 17, 2022. 266. Upon launch, Disney+ experienced significant technical difficulties. Users complained about receiving error messages that the service was down and that they were unable to connect, which were irritating because many of them had paid for the service months in advance. 344. In some instances, passwords needed to be reset to enable access. One other negative aspect with the launch of the service was the presentation of the non-HD episodes of The Simpsons. Namely, that instead of presenting them in their original aspect ratio, they were either cropped to fit 16:9 widescreen televisions or awkwardly stretched out to that aspect ratio. 218. FXX's now defunct Simpsons World streaming service was similarly criticized when it launched. 345. In response, Disney stated they would make the ability to watch the episodes of the first 19 seasons and some from season 20 in either the 4:3 or 16:9 aspect ratio in early 2020. 346. The feature was made available on May 28, 2020. 217. Some have noted that episodes of The Simpsons, X-Men, DuckTales, Phineas and Ferb, Kim Possible and The Avengers, Earth's Mightiest Heroes are presented almost entirely out of order, while some series are missing episodes. 347. 126. Others have questioned why an extensive catalog of Disney-owned material is missing from the platform, including older Disney-produced films, 93, Disney Junior titles, 348, Marvel content, 349, 350, some Muppets media, 351, and the unreleased Star Wars animated comedy series Star Wars Detours, 354. On June 26, 2020, the 2017 DuckTales series had its episodes arranged in the proper order, while co-creator of Phineas and Ferb, Jeff Swampy Marsh, has stated that they are working on correcting the order of his series. 355. Disney Plus was the top trending Google search term in 2019 in the U.S. 356. In February 2020, Disney reported that Disney Plus had 26.5 million subscribers by the end of 2019 and 28.6 million by February 3, 2020. 327. By April 2020, Disney Plus had 50 million paid subscribers, with approximately 8 million of those coming from India. 328. The service had 54.5 million subscribers by May 4. 329. 357. 57.5 million subscribers by the end of June. 60.5 million subscribers by August 4. 330. 73.7 million subscribers by September 30. 331. And 86.8 million subscribers as of December 2. 332. In February 2021, Disney reported that Disney Plus had 94.9 million subscribers as of January 2, 2021. 358. 359. On March 9, 2021, Disney reported that the service had surpassed 100 million paid subscribers, but did not say when it had hit the milestone. The company clarified that it would now only be providing subscriber number updates when certain milestones are reached, as opposed to releasing exact numbers each quarter. 360. In 2020, Apple Incorporated named Disney Plus the Apple TV app of the year. It was the second and third most downloaded free app of the year globally on the iPad and iPhone, respectively. It was also voted the best app of 2020 by Google Play users. 361. In H1 of 2021, the app reached 125 million downloads. 20th Century Studios Incorporated, formerly 20th Century Fox, commonly referred to as Fox, is an American film production and distribution company owned by the Walt Disney Studios, the film studios division of the Disney Entertainment business segment of the Walt Disney Company. 6. It was headquartered at the Fox Studio lot in the Century City area of Los Angeles until its lease with Fox Corporation ended and it was relocated to the Walt Disney Studios in Burbank. 7-8. Walt Disney Studios Motion Pictures distributes and markets the films produced by the studio in theatrical markets. 9-10. For 90 years, 20th Century has been one of the major American film studios. It was founded on May 31, 1935 as 20th Century Fox Film Corporation, by the merger of Fox Film Corporation and 20th Century Pictures, and one of the original Big Five among 8 majors of Hollywood's Golden Age. In 1985, the studio removed the hyphen in the name, becoming 20th Century Fox Film Corporation, after being acquired by Rupert Murdoch's News Corporation, which was renamed 21st Century Fox in 2013 after it spun off its publishing assets. Disney purchased most of 21st Century Fox's assets, which included 20th Century Fox, On March 20, 2019, 11, the studio adopted its current name on January 17, 2020. In order to avoid confusion with Fox Corporation, and subsequently started to use it for the copyright of 20th Century and Searchlight Pictures Productions on December 4, 12. 20th Century is currently one of 5 live-action film studios within the Walt Disney Studios, alongside Walt Disney Pictures, Marvel Studios, Lucasfilm, and its sister specialty unit, Searchlight Pictures. 20th Century also releases animated films produced by its animation division, 20th Century Animation. The most commercially successful film franchises from 20th Century Studios include the first 6 Star Wars films, X-Men, Ice Age, Avatar, and Planet of the Apes. 13. Additionally, the studio's library includes many notable films such as The Sound of Music and Titanic, both of which won the Academy Award for Best Picture and became the highest-grossing films of all time during their initial releases. 14. 15. History. From founding to 1956. See also, Fox Film and 20th Century Pictures. Carmen Miranda as Dorita in The Gangs All Here. In 1946, she was the highest-paid actress in the United States. 16. Alice Faye as Baroness Cecilia Duarte, Don Amitch as Larry Martin and Baron Manuel Duarte, and Carmen Miranda as Carmen in That Night in Rio, produced by Fox in 1941. The 20th Century Fox logo, depicted in a 1939 advertisement in box office. From the 1952 film Viva Zapata. 20th Century Pictures Joseph Schenck and Darrell F. Zanuck left United Artists over a stock dispute and began merger talks with the management of financially struggling Fox Film, under President Sidney Kent. 17. 18. Spiro Skouras, then manager of the Fox West Coast Theaters, helped make it happen and later became president of the new company. 17. The company had been struggling since founder William Fox lost control of the company in 1930. 19. Fox Film Corporation and 20th Century Pictures merged in 1935. Initially, it was speculated in the New York Times that the newly merged company would be named Fox 20th Century. The new company, 20th Century Fox Film Corporation, began trading on May 31, 1935. Kent remained at the company, joining Schenck and Zanuck. Zanuck replaced Winfield Sheehan as the company's production chief. The company established a special training school. Lynn Bari, Patricia Farr and Ann Nagel were among 14 young women launched on the trail of film stardom on August 6, 1935, when they each received a 6-month contract with 20th Century Fox after spending 18 months in the school. The contracts included a studio option for renewal for as long as 7 years. 20. For many years, 20th Century Fox identified themselves as having been founded in 1915, the year Fox Film was founded. For instance, it marked 1945 as its 30th anniversary. However, it has considered the 1935 merger as its founding in recent years, even though most film historians agree it was founded in 1915. 21. The company's films retain the 20th Century Pictures Searchlight logo on their opening credits, as well as its opening fanfare, but with the name changed to 20th Century Fox. After the merger was completed, Zanuck signed young actors to help carry 20th Century Fox: Tyrone Power, Linda Darnell, Carmen Miranda, Don Amitch, Henry Fonda, Gene Tierney, Sonia Henney, and Betty Grable. 20th Century Fox also hired Alice Faye and Shirley Temple, who appeared in several major films for the studio in the 1930s. 22-23. Higher attendance during World War II helped 20th Century Fox overtake RKO and Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer to become the third most profitable film studio. In 1941, Zanuck was commissioned as a lieutenant colonel in the U.S. Signal Corps and assigned to supervise the production of U.S. Army training films. His partner, William Getz, filled in at 20th Century Fox. 24. In 1942, Spiro Skouras succeeded Kent as president of the studio. 25. During the next few years, with pictures like Wilson, 1944, The Razor's Edge, 1946, Boomerang, Gentleman's Agreement, both 1947, The Snake Pit, 1948, and Pinky, 1949, Zanuck established a reputation for provocative, adult films. 20th Century Fox also specialized in adaptations of best-selling books such as Ben Ames Williams' Leave Her to Heaven, 1945, starring Gene Tierney, which was the highest-grossing 20th Century Fox film of the 1940s. The studio also produced film versions of Broadway musicals, including the Rodgers and Hammerstein films, beginning with the musical version of State Fair, 1945, the only work that the partnership wrote specially for films. After the war, audiences slowly drifted away. 20th Century Fox held on to its theaters until a court-mandated divorce. They were spun off as Fox National Theaters in 1953, 26, that year, with attendance at half the 1946 level. 20th Century Fox gambled on an unproven process. Noting that the two film sensations of 1952 had been Cinerama, which required 3 projectors to fill a giant curved screen, and Natural Vision 3D, which got its effects of depth by requiring the use of polarized glasses. 20th Century Fox mortgaged its studio to buy rights to a French anamorphic projection system, which gave a slight illusion of depth without glasses. President Spiros Skouras struck a deal with the inventor Henri Crétin, leaving the other film studios empty-handed, and in 1953 introduced CinemaScope in the studio's groundbreaking feature film The Robe, 27. Zanuck announced in February 1953 that henceforth all 20th Century Fox pictures would be made in CinemaScope, 28, to convince theater owners to install this new process. 20th Century Fox agreed to help pay conversion costs, about $25,000 per screen, and to ensure enough product, 20th Century Fox leased access to CinemaScope to any rival studio choosing to use it. Seeing the box office for the first 2 CinemaScope features, The Robe and How to Marry a Millionaire. Also 1953, Warner Brothers, MGM, RKO, Universal International, Columbia, UA, Allied Artists, and Disney quickly adopted the process. In 1956, 20th Century Fox engaged Robert Lippert to establish a subsidiary company, Regal Pictures, later Associated Producers Incorporated, to film B Pictures in CinemaScope, but branded RegalScope. 20th Century Fox produced new musicals using the CinemaScope process, including Carousel and The King and I, both 1956. CinemaScope brought a brief upturn in attendance, but by 1956 the numbers again began to slide. 29, 30. That year Darryl Zanuck announced his resignation as head of production. Zanuck moved to Paris, setting up as an independent producer, seldom being in the United States for many years. In mid-1956, the company loaned the pre-1948 film library, including TV distribution rights, but not the copyrights of these films, to National Telefilm Associates for 10 years. 31. Production and financial problems. Logo used as 20th Century Fox from 1985 to 2020. Zanuck's successor, producer Buddy Adler, died a year later. 32. President Spiros Skouras brought in a series of production executives, but none had Zanuck's success. By the early 1960s, 20th Century Fox was in trouble. A new version of Cleopatra, 1963, began production in 1959 with Joan Collins in the lead. 33. As a publicity gimmick, producer Walter Warner offered $1 million to Elizabeth Taylor if she would star Wink with a Frown. 33. She accepted, and costs for Cleopatra began to escalate. Richard Burton's on-set romance with Taylor was surrounding the media. However, Skouras' selfish preferences and inexperienced micromanagement on the film's production did nothing to speed up production on Cleopatra. Meanwhile, another remake of the Cary Grant hit My Favorite Wife, 1940, was rushed into production in an attempt to turn over a quick profit to help keep 20th Century Fox afloat. The romantic comedy entitled Something's Got to Give paired Marilyn Monroe, 20th Century Fox's most bankable star of the 1950s, with Dean Martin and director George Cukor. The troubled Monroe caused delays daily, and it quickly descended into a costly debacle. As Cleopatra's budget passed $10 million, eventually costing around $40 million, 20th Century Fox sold its back lot, now the site of Century City, to Alcoa in 1961 to raise funds. After several weeks of script rewrites on the Monroe picture and very little progress, mostly due to director George Cukor's filming methods, in addition to Monroe's chronic sinusitis, Monroe was fired from Something's Got to Give 33, and 2 months later she was found dead. According to 20th Century Fox files, she was rehired within weeks for a 2-picture deal totaling $1 million, $500,000 to finish Something's Got to Give, plus a bonus at completion, and another $500,000 for What a Way to Go. Elizabeth Taylor's disruptive reign on the Cleopatra set continued unchallenged from 1960 into 1962, though 3 20th Century Fox executives went to Rome in June 1962 to fire her. They learned that director Joseph L. Mankiewicz had filmed out of sequence and had only done interiors, so 20th Century Fox was then forced to allow Taylor several more weeks of filming. In the meantime, during that summer of 1962, Fox released nearly all of its contract stars to offset burgeoning costs, including Jane Mansfield, 34, 35. With few pictures on the schedule, Skouras wanted to rush Zanuck's big-budget war epic The Longest Day, 1962, 33, an accurate account of the Allied invasion of Normandy on June 6, 1944, with a huge international cast, into release as another source of quick cash. This offended Zanuck, still 20th Century Fox's largest shareholder, for whom The Longest Day was a labor of love that he had dearly wanted to produce for many years. After it became clear that Something's Got to Give would not be able to progress without Monroe in the lead, Martin had refused to work with anyone else. Skouras finally decided that re-signing her was unavoidable. But days before filming was due to resume, she was found dead at her Los Angeles home, and the picture resumed filming as Move Over, Darling, with Doris Day and James Garner in the leads. Released in 1963, the film was a hit. 36. The unfinished scenes from Something's Got to Give were shelved for nearly 40 years. Rather than being rushed into release as if it were a B-picture, The Longest Day was lovingly and carefully produced under Zanuck's supervision. It was finally released at a length of 3 hours and was well received. At the next board meeting, Zanuck spoke for 8 hours, convincing directors that Skouras was mismanaging the company and that he was the only possible successor. Zanuck was installed as chairman and then named his son Richard Zanuck as president. 37. This new management group seized Cleopatra and rushed it to completion, shut down the studio, laid off the entire staff to save money, axed the long-running Movietone newsreel, the archives of which are now owned by Fox News, and made a series of cheap, popular pictures that restored 20th Century Fox as a major studio. The saving grace for the studio's fortunes came from the tremendous success of The Sound of Music, 1965, 38, an expensive and handsomely produced film adaptation of the highly acclaimed Rodgers and Hammerstein Broadway musical, which became a significant success at the box office and won 5 Academy Awards, including Best Director, Robert Wise, and Best Picture of the Year.